Surely you have seen beautiful peacocks in zoos or on TV, because this species is a rare bird that is being preserved in many places around the world. But in China, peacocks have become an important industry in many rural areas and bring great economic potential to local farmers. Peacock farms are built in many mountainous and rural areas in China. Today, we invite you to explore the most unique peacock farms in the world. Every part of the peacock has commercial value, from its meat to its beautiful feathers. The largest peacock farming areas are in Jiangxi, Hunan, Guangdong and Guangxi, with thousands of farms of various sizes. The peacocks raised are the Indian peafowl and the green peafowl because of their adaptability and economic value. The longer a peacock is raised, the more valuable it becomes. A 5 or 6 month-old peacock can bring in a profit of 300 to 400 yuan, and one raised for 5 years or more can sell for more than 10,000 yuan, equivalent to more than $1,300 US. Chinese farmers say that raising peacocks is low cost, highly efficient, saves time and effort, and does not take up much arable land. It is also easier to clean and less polluted than a regular poultry farm. The first step to starting a peacock farm is for farmers to purchase eggs or baby peacocks from reputable breeders. Large-scale farms may also import peacocks from abroad to diversify their gene pool and breeds. Being wild, peacocks need to be kept in spacious cages, similar to their natural environment. The cage needs to be designed to be at least 100 square meters for 10 adult peacocks, surrounded by wire mesh fences to prevent them from escaping and protect them from predators. Around the peacock breeding area, tall trees can be planted to provide shade and perches for them, because peacocks love to perch high up. Peacocks are relatively easy to raise because their diet is similar to that of other poultry. Chinese farmers feed peacocks grains such as corn, wheat, and rice bran, supplemented with green vegetables and insects to increase protein and calcium for optimal growth. Each cage can be designed with a clean water tank to provide daily water, sometimes supplemented with probiotics to improve digestion. Like many other poultry, peacocks raised in China often suffer from diseases such as parasites or fowl cholera. Therefore, the breeding process also requires the use of vaccines and regular deworming to keep peacocks healthy. The cages are also cleaned regularly to ensure a clean environment, avoid pollution, thereby helping to minimize diseases. In recent years, the Chinese government has also encouraged and supported farmers to develop their own economy in accordance with local economic conditions and promote rural revitalization. With the policies of local governments, Many farmers in Hunan and Jiangxi have escaped poverty and made huge profits from the peacock farming industry. Depending on the purpose of harvesting for meat or selling as pets, farmers harvest peacocks according to their age. Currently, the price of baby peacocks can be sold from $200 to $500, depending on age, breed, and rarity. In some regions, peacock meat is considered a delicacy. Farms specialize in raising peacocks for meat consumption, supplying high-end restaurants and exotic food enthusiasts. Peacock meat can sell for $150 to $300 per kilogram. In addition to being harvested for meat, peacock feathers are highly prized for decoration, fashion, religious ceremonies, and traditional crafts. High-quality feathers sell for $5 to $20, so wholesale sales of decorative items can bring in thousands of dollars a year. Many farms today have expanded into peacock sanctuaries, attracting tourists to visit and experience. They also generate additional income from selling souvenirs, food, and experiences such as feeding the peacocks. One emerging activity is the profitable breeding of peacocks for the international market, zoos, and private collectors. Licensed breeders can sell eggs and chicks to buyers around the world for $50 to $100 per egg. It is not difficult to see peacock eggs and feathers sold on e-commerce platforms in China. It brings convenience to buyers and benefits to sellers, and promotes the peacock farming industry throughout China. Perhaps in the future, peacock farming will be an opportunity to enrich more farmers.
Have you ever heard of an Asian arowana fish being auctioned for up to $300,000? Yes, this price is even higher than a Lamborghini, although it is an aquarium fish. It seems that raising aquarium fish is a hobby of humans, but surprisingly, it has become a big industry in recent years. There are even farms that only raise rare fish species for the rich. So, today, let's explore the most expensive fish farms in the world. Currently, the global ornamental fish market is valued at $8 billion, and it is expected to increase sharply in the next few years. Ornamental fish farms are built all over the world, but the leading ornamental fish export industry is Indonesia, China, and Japan. Here, there are many farms raising famous and expensive ornamental fish such as arowana, koi fish. Japan is the most famous country for its colorful koi fish, which are often raised for the purpose of beautifying and decorating the house. We often see colorful fish tanks in houses, cafes, and restaurants to create a beautiful space. The more unique the color of the fish, the higher the price. This fish is often sold for $10,000 to $50,000 depending on the species. Koi farms are mainly located in Fukushima Prefecture with a scale of up to thousands of fish. The farm also trains koi fish for breeding not only to serve the consumption needs in Japan, but also have export value. Japanese koi fish are exported to China and Southeast Asia. There are about 100 different varieties of koi fish today, but the most expensive and sought after are the kohaku, sankei, shawa, and other rare varieties. The most valuable koi fish can be sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially high-quality koi fish that have won competitions, exhibitions, or auctions. Although koi fish farms can produce thousands of ornamental fish each year, it is still not enough to meet the increasing consumption demand, especially in modern times when the demand for beauty or decoration increasingly developed mind. So, what is the meaning of koi fish that makes so many people like to raise them? For the Japanese, koi fish are not only ornamental fish, they are also symbols of luck and perseverance. Especially in Chinese culture, koi fish also symbolize success and constant effort. Also, due to tradition, the demand for quality koi fish is very large, especially among wealthy collectors, thereby contributing to the reputation and high price of this fish. In addition to koi fish, another fish species that is only for the rich is arowana fish. This is one of the ornamental fish species that is strongly sought after all over the world. The largest arowana fish farms today are built in Indonesia and Singapore due to the favorable climate and environment, partly because this fish species originated in Southeast Asia. Arowana farms often use advanced breeding technologies to optimize their farming. They can be raised in large outdoor ponds that simulate the natural environment for the arowana to thrive. Farmers also raise arowanas to breed in the wild. However, after the eggs are incubated and hatched into fry, the fry need to be raised in an aquarium environment to increase their survival rate. During this period, many people mistakenly believe that arowanas reproduce by mouth, but in fact, they only incubate the eggs in their mouths, and the incubation stage is performed by the male arowana. Today, the arowana has become part of the Asian luxury goods market, contributing to the economies of many countries. Wealthy collectors are willing to pay large sums for rare and unique arowana individuals, making the trade extremely profitable. Especially in the Chinese market, most wealthy families keep a few arowanas in their homes, believing that they bring good luck and prosperity. The arowana industry has created jobs and economic stability for hundreds of thousands of people in Asia. In addition, related industries such as aquarium production and fish food production have also benefited from the popularity of arowanas. In recent years, ornamental fish farms have been expanding in many areas of the world. With its increasing value, it can become a strong export industry for many countries in the world, Asia in developing efficient livestock systems. The United States is one of the countries with the largest livestock industries in the world, with tens of millions of cattle, of which dairy cows account for more than 9 million. The dairy industry is one of the important industries in the United States, so it leads to the development of the dairy farming industry. On farms, farmers apply special care tips to help dairy cows stay healthy and produce more milk. So, today, let's explore with us the secret tips for caring for dairy cows on farms in the United States. Dairy farms aim to have healthy and productive cows. To achieve this, farmers need to monitor the cow's fertility, health, and milk production. This may sound easy, but it is challenging to implement. Therefore, depending on the farm, farmers apply different methods. American farmers often invest in barn improvements to improve the living environment for dairy cows. Using comfortable bedding such as high-quality straw helps prevent joint problems and infections. Because muddy and damp barns cause cows to be stressed and susceptible to hoof and joint diseases, leading to loss of appetite and reduced fertility. The cowshed should be kept clean, dry, and large enough to allow the cows to lie down comfortably without being crowded. In addition, the cowshed should be kept quiet, as dairy cows are sensitive to loud noises and sudden movements. Ventilation is also important on dairy farms in the US, as it helps prevent respiratory diseases and keeps cows comfortable. Cows are susceptible to heat stress, which can lead to reduced milk quality. So, some farms use fans and misters to keep them cool and ensure shade when they are outdoors. One of the tips for caring for dairy cows in the US is to keep cows in small groups, not to shake the herd too much because that also causes stress for cows. Minimize isolation for cows that are being treated or need to be monitored, including dairy cows in the breeding period. Keep a close distance from other cows to reduce stress for dairy cows that need to be monitored. Ventilation is also important on dairy farms in the US, as it helps prevent respiratory diseases and keeps cows comfortable. Cows are susceptible to heat stress, which can lead to reduced milk quality. So, some farms use fans and misters to keep them cool and ensure shade when they are outdoors. One of the tips for caring for dairy cows in the US is to keep cows in small groups, not to shake the herd too much because that also causes stress for cows. Minimize isolation for cows that are being treated or need to be monitored, including dairy cows in the breeding period. Keep a close distance from other cows to reduce stress for dairy cows that need to be monitored. Providing nutritious feed is also one of the important tips for taking care of dairy cows, as well as milk production process. Feed cost accounts for 50 to 60% of the total cost of milk production. Moreover, the specific nutritional components provided not only directly affect the milk volume, but also affect the profitability and overall health of dairy cows. Therefore, farmers often use high-quality feed to provide cows. High-quality silage and hay are commonly used on dairy farms in the United States. They provide a balance of fiber, protein, and energy in the cow's diet. The roughage must be clean and free of mold, as spoiled feed can be detrimental to digestion and overall health. American farmers also need to ensure that cows have enough water each day to produce milk. High-quality dairy cows can drink up to 100 liters of water per day. Therefore, it is important to ensure that there is enough space around the water trough, especially during peak hours, so that all cows have the opportunity to drink without competition. Provide clean water to ensure that the water is free of contaminants such as algae and bacteria. Clean water improves digestion, which is essential for milk production. In the dairy industry, optimizing udder health is essential to improve animal welfare, production efficiency, and reduce antibiotic use. However, achieving these improvements requires farmers to have specialist knowledge of treatment, milking, infection control, and animal resilience. The milking areas also feature modern systems to reduce stress on the cows and ensure the highest quality milk. Each high-quality dairy cow can produce around 45 liters of milk per day, and the milking systems are also regularly cleaned to prevent bacterial contamination, which can reduce the quality of the milk. In the dairy industry, optimizing udder health is essential to improve animal welfare, production efficiency, and reduced antibiotic use. However, achieving these improvements requires farmers to have specialist knowledge of treatment, milking, infection control, and animal resilience. The milking areas also feature modern systems to reduce stress on the cows and ensure the highest quality milk. Each high-quality dairy cow can produce around 45 liters of milk per day, and the milking systems are also regularly cleaned to prevent bacterial contamination, which can reduce the quality of the milk. In the dairy industry, optimizing udder health is essential to improve animal welfare, production efficiency, and reduce antibiotic use. However, achieving these improvements requires farmers to have specialist knowledge of treatment, milking, infection control, and animal resilience. The milking areas also feature modern systems to reduce stress on the cows and ensure the highest quality milk. Each high-quality dairy cow can produce around 45 liters of milk per day, and the milking systems are also regularly cleaned to prevent bacterial contamination, which can reduce the quality of the milk. Milk after being milked is stored in containers and quickly preserved for transport to the processing plant. Milk should only be transported on the same day to ensure high quality. Every year, people consume about 150 million tons of milk worldwide, mostly fresh milk that has been processed and pasteurized. After being processed, the milk is usually bottled and distributed throughout the region. You can easily buy any bottle of cow's milk in supermarkets in the US and around the world, because milk has become a popular drink all over the world. These beautiful flowers are not only grown for decoration and beautification of space, but instead healthcare is what makes them valuable. After being harvested, the flowers will go through a sophisticated processing process, creating a delicious drink, rich in nutritional value, considered a miracle drug for healthcare. From tiny flowers to $1 million industry, how did the Chinese do it? Let's find out in today's video. Chrysanthemum tea is not a new drink. It has been present in China for thousands of years and is extremely loved by the people. According to traditional medicine, chrysanthemum tea is considered a miracle drug, helping to relax the mind, anti-aging, and even keeping the eyes healthy. You can drink chrysanthemum tea anytime, anywhere, from bustling New Year parties to peaceful mornings in your favorite cup. So, how can these lovely chrysanthemums create an entire industry? To start your journey of making money from chrysanthemums, first plant a large field of chrysanthemums. And Chinese farmers are clearly not afraid to invest. You can find chrysanthemums everywhere in China, but the most famous chrysanthemum growing regions are Yunnan, Anhui, Sichuan, and Zhejiang. Chrysanthemums in each region will have a distinct flavor. Yunnan has strong-smelling chrysanthemums, while Sichuan brings a sweet, lingering flavor. With the traditional method, farmers will divide the seedlings in the fall, keep the healthy ones, and take care of them until the harvest season begins in November. Chrysanthemums do not like water, so they are often grown on raised beds for easy drainage and do not need too much watering. In addition to the traditional growing method, chrysanthemum growing regions have now invested in a modern direction to achieve higher productivity. They can grow chrysanthemums in greenhouses to ensure that the flowers grow well and are not affected by pests or diseases. In addition, they also apply breeding techniques to limit defective plants. The application of high technology in production helps ensure the quality of chrysanthemums, meeting market standards. After about 3 months of care, chrysanthemums will begin to bloom. The ideal time to harvest chrysanthemums is in early winter, after the first frost. Flowers that have bloomed about 85 to 90% will be suitable for harvesting tea. A secret that only chrysanthemum growers know is to only harvest chrysanthemums on sunny days. Flowers should only be harvested after 9 a.m. because at that time the dew on the flowers has evaporated. Harvesting flowers when everything is dry and handling them promptly will help the flowers not rot or change color. Each chrysanthemum tea producing region will have its own traditional processing method. Immediately after harvesting, the flowers need to be transferred to the processing factory to remove the branches and leaves, keeping only the flowers. Then, the flowers are washed with clean water and dried in a cool place. Don't think that just throwing the flowers around is enough. If stacked on top of each other, the flowers can get hot and spoiled. Only skilled workers know how to dry chrysanthemum flowers perfectly, both preserving the fragrance and preserving nutrients. The process of processing chrysanthemum flowers into tea seems very simple, but in fact, it is an art. Workers must measure the temperature and time accurately, otherwise the product will become a disaster. To preserve the natural aroma, chrysanthemums will be steamed in a steamer at a stable temperature for about 4 to 5 minutes. After steaming, chrysanthemums will be spread evenly on bamboo mats to dry under the sun for about 6 to 7 days. This is a labor-intensive process and requires patience from the workers. Today, to meet the increasing demand, chrysanthemum tea factories have applied low-temperature drying technology. This method helps to better preserve the color, flavor, and nutrients in chrysanthemums, bringing a perfect tea product with consistent quality. Not only popular in China, chrysanthemum tea has spread to the world and become a popular drink in many countries. Thanks to its outstanding health benefits and convenience, chrysanthemum tea has been packaged in many different forms, from tea bags to bottled tea, meeting the needs of modern consumers. Currently, chrysanthemum tea manufacturers are also experimenting with products combined with other herbs such as ginger, honey, or ginseng to create new flavors, both meeting the needs of enjoyment and bringing many health benefits. Chrysanthemum tea is known for its many health benefits, from reducing stress, improving sleep, supporting the digestive system, and beautifying the skin. In particular, chrysanthemum tea is also part of the global consumer trend, as consumers are increasingly interested in natural and healthy products. The herbal tea market is booming, with a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of over 5%. Chrysanthemum tea is not only consumed domestically, but also exported to international markets, including North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. The growing awareness of health has made chrysanthemum tea an ideal choice for global consumers. Do you think cacti are just houseplants or vegetation that grows on dry land? Yes, because they are actually drought-tolerant plants, which is great for those who are lazy about watering their plants. But wait! You are missing out on a really great use for this plant, which is as cow feed. It may sound strange, but cacti are actually one of the sustainable sources of food for cows, especially in areas with water shortages. Today, we will explore this interesting fact. Cactus. Just hearing the name makes us feel the thorns, right? Most of us know that cacti grow in extremely arid places. No one waters or cares for them, but they still live healthily like a warrior. They not only survive in harsh conditions, but also equip themselves with a thorny shell to protect themselves from all intrusions. Some species can even survive when the temperature reaches 40 degrees Celsius and still be awake. Growing cacti to feed cows? It sounds like a crazy idea, but it actually makes sense. If you are a smart farmer, you can grow cacti on land where no other plants can grow. It doesn't need much water. Poor soil? Cactus doesn't care. And cows will eat well, drink natural water without worrying about lack of food. So why not try it? Listen, you won't be a hard-working farmer when growing these cacti. In contrast to other plants that need fertile soil and lots of water, cacti are much easier. They can grow on poor soil, don't need much water, and importantly, become a useful food source for cows. The most popular cactus variety is Opuntia because they are least thorny and most delicious. Growing cacti to feed cows? It sounds like a crazy idea, but it actually makes sense. If you are a smart farmer, you can grow cacti on land where no other plants can grow. It doesn't need much water. Poor soil? Cactus doesn't care. And cows will eat well, drink natural water without worrying about lack of food. So why not try it? Listen, you won't be a hard-working farmer when growing these cacti. In contrast to other plants that need fertile soil and lots of water, cacti are much easier. They can grow on poor soil, don't need much water, and importantly, become a useful food source for cows. The most popular cactus variety is Opuntia because they are least thorny and most delicious. The process of growing cacti is quite simple and does not require much investment. Simply take sections of cactus from a mature plant, at least 20 to 30 centimeters long, don't be too stingy. Bury them about 5 to 10 centimeters deep in the ground. Cactus plants root easily and thrive without much care. The only thing they need is loose, not waterlogged soil and a little water if it gets too dry. The cactus can be harvested after about 1 to 2 years, after which the plant will continue to grow for many more years. Unlike the harvesting process for other agricultural products, when harvesting cactus for cows, people will cut off large sections of the stem. But don't worry, the plant will grow back quickly from the base and they can harvest periodically. Therefore, the cows will be provided with a food source all year round. The process of growing cacti is quite simple and does not require much investment. Simply take sections of cactus from a mature plant, at least 20 to 30 centimeters long, don't be too stingy. Bury them about 5 to 10 centimeters deep in the ground. Cactus plants root easily and thrive without much care. The only thing they need is loose, not waterlogged soil and a little water if it gets too dry. The cactus can be harvested after about 1 to 2 years, after which the plant will continue to grow for many more years. Unlike the harvesting process for other agricultural products, when harvesting cactus for cows, people will cut off large sections of the stem. But don't worry, the plant will grow back quickly from the base and they can harvest periodically. Therefore, the cows will be provided with a food source all year round. In order for the cows to be able to enjoy the cactus safely, the farmer will have to handle it a bit. Usually, large-scale cattle farms will use incinerators to remove the dangerous sharp thorns, avoiding injury to the cows. Therefore, if you see burnt cacti on the farm, don't think that there is a cactus barbecue party going on. In addition, they can remove the thorns by cutting or peeling. However, cows are smarter than you think. They rarely eat cactus that still have thorns. After removing the thorns, the cactus can be chopped and fed directly to the cows. Some farmers also grind or chop the cactus and mix it with dry feed in the appropriate proportion. Although cactus is low in protein, only about 5%, it is a perfect choice when combined with nutritious feed. So, why is cactus a perfect choice for raising cattle? First of all, it saves on feed costs, especially during droughts when other feed sources become scarce. An interesting comparison is that cactus contains up to 75% of the energy of corn, but costs 20 times less to produce in harsh semi-arid environments. A recent study in Brazil showed that replacing corn silage with cactus increased the production efficiency of dairy cows without affecting milk quality. In particular, other foods need to be preserved in dry or fermented form, but cacti can be preserved all year round without spoiling, still retaining the necessary amount of water. In addition, this food is also a source of vitamin A and a large amount of non-fibrous carbohydrates, NFC, which helps increase energy for livestock.
Did you know that garlic was once shunned by British and American cultures because its pungent smell lingered even after meals? However, by the late 1900s, the United States had emerged as the garlic capital of the world. About 24,000 acres of garlic were grown each year, yielding a total of about 400 million pounds. Large-scale factories and farms were once the pride of their country. So, what happened to the industry? Why did the million-dollar garlic factories close? Join me in today's video to find out the truth. The story of garlic in America begins in the early 1890s, when immigrants from Southern Europe arrived in California's Santa Clara Valley. With fertile soil and a mild climate, garlic quickly became a staple in vegetable gardens. However, it wasn't until early 1929 that commercial garlic cultivation really took off, and the largest garlic farms were born. The garlic industry has emerged as a national phenomenon, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for farmers. California is the largest producer of garlic in the United States, with 90% of the country's garlic grown and processed here. The smell of garlic wafts through the towns, so you can easily recognize this as a large-scale garlic processing area. In the United States, garlic is usually planted in the fall, in carefully plowed and prepared raised beds. The timing of planting is extremely important. Plant early enough so that the soil does not freeze before the root system develops, but late enough that they do not emerge from the ground. According to statistics, there are hundreds of varieties of garlic grown in the United States, but the most common on farms are California early and California late. The garlic cloves will be planted about 1.5 inches deep. On large-scale farms, garlic planting is mainly done with specialized transplanters, which optimizes time and effort. Garlic takes about 9 months to grow and is ready to harvest when 40 to 60% of the leaves turn yellow, usually around mid-July. On some farms, garlic can be harvested by hand, but modern farms today often use automated machinery for greater efficiency. From the field, garlic is cleaned and transported to the processing plant, where sorting and packaging take place. Typically, garlic is sold by the pound, by the vine, or by the bulb. However, dried garlic accounts for about 75% of garlic consumed in the United States, so dried garlic processing plants are becoming more popular. Modern high-capacity machinery ensures that garlic is supplied to both domestic and export markets. One of the largest and most famous garlic producers in the United States is Gilroy, California. It even holds an annual garlic festival to celebrate this valuable crop. And you may not know it, April 19th is that anniversary. While once the garlic capital of the world, the US garlic industry has lost that status. By 1990, Chinese garlic had flooded the US market with about 60 million pounds. This imported garlic was about 4 times cheaper than American garlic, which severely affected the industry. Although the US government raised tariffs to curb the impact of Chinese garlic, many garlic farms closed. Half of California's largest garlic packing plants have disappeared in the past decade. In just a few months, the amount of cheap garlic imported into the United States is nearly equal to the annual production of Christopher Ranch, the largest garlic packing plant in the country. In addition, a shortage of workers has caused garlic farms to shrink. Therefore, their only solution to this problem is to increase wages for workers. This also leads to increased labor costs, affecting profits and decisions to develop farms. All these factors have pushed large-scale garlic farms and factories in the United States into an unprecedented, difficult situation. The garlic industry in the United States is no longer as dominant as it once was. But in this situation, farmers still find a ray of hope. New directions have been implemented to increase profits, as the average American consumes 2.5 pounds of garlic per year. One of the most popular trends today is organic garlic production. With health awareness and changing consumption habits, consumers are increasingly paying attention to the quality and safety of products. Therefore, many farms are also applying organic garlic growing techniques to meet this demand. Therefore, there are special garlic products priced up to $1 per bulb. In addition, increasing modern machinery and equipment and reducing labor are also effective ways to increase productivity and limit costs. Farms are gradually focusing on product quality. It is predicted that garlic production in the United States will continue to increase in the coming years. This is a positive signal for garlic factories to recover and develop in the future. Do you think the US garlic production and processing industry will regain its glory? Please share your opinion in the comments section. In many parts of Africa, the relationship between humans and elephants is becoming increasingly tense, with the animals invading agricultural lands every year, destroying large areas of crops. This ongoing conflict has prompted African farmers to seek solutions that balance conservation with their livelihoods, including seeking help from American hunters. Let's explore what American elephant hunting is like in Africa. Elephants are known to be highly intelligent and social animals, but their size and appetite make them particularly destructive when they invade agricultural lands. A single elephant can consume hundreds of kilograms of vegetation in a day, trampling and destroying large areas of land in the process. For farmers who depend on their crops for survival, the presence of elephants can also spell disaster. The impact of elephants goes beyond causing crop failure. They also undermine the food security of entire indigenous African communities. In areas where subsistence farming is the main source of food and income, the loss of a single crop can lead to famine and financial instability. Not only do elephants destroy crops, they also invade villages and destroyed people's homes and infrastructure. Not only did they starve, they also lost their homes to protect them from the rain and sun. The situation was made worse by the fact that elephants are protected by law. Protection leaving farmers with few legal remedies to protect their land. In response to worsening conflicts, some African farmers and local governments have begun to consider more drastic measures, including enlisting American hunters to help manage elephant populations. The practice is controversial because it involves culling elephants, which conservationists oppose. However, advocates say controlled hunting can be an effective way to manage wildlife populations and protect agricultural land. The idea of the American hunter originated from trophy hunting, where hunters paid large sums of money to hunt animals, including elephants. For African farmers, hunter involvement is an effective measure, while traditional elephant containment measures such as fencing have been limited. Regulated hunting is a direct way to reduce elephant numbers in areas where they cause the most damage. Hunting large animals is not easy, and taking down an elephant weighing 4 to 5 tons is even more difficult. Therefore, hunters not only need experience, but also need to be well prepared before participating in an elephant hunting trip. Elephant hunts usually start early in the morning because American hunters are unfamiliar with the terrain, so they need natives to act as guides. They track elephants by looking for footprints, dung, or trampled vegetation. When detecting an elephant, the hunter needs to approach within a certain distance of 250 to 200 meters to ensure accurate shooting. There are many cases where hunters confront elephants at close range but cannot defeat them because of their large size. On the contrary, when an elephant gets angry, it can attack and put the hunter in danger. Therefore, every hunter needs to prepare a way to retreat when necessary to avoid danger. For a successful hunt, it is important for the hunter to determine the location of the shot, usually in areas such as the heart or lungs, to ensure a quick and humane kill. Because of the elephant's large size, the hunter may have to shoot multiple times to kill it. Once the elephant is put down, the animal is butchered on site, and the meat is distributed to local communities, providing an important source of protein for indigenous people. To reconsider the issue of elephant control in parallel with conservation. Because the number of elephants